Tell me the truth.
Let's talk about it. Welcome to Oral Fixation, where we talk about all things sex and dating in Los Angeles. Oral Fixation is sponsored by Voodoo Toys, a sexual wellness company based in LA, whose mission is to empower women and break the stigmas that surround masturbation. My name is Aspen Sal, and I'm joined by my co-host, Sally Koching. Sit back, relax, and let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Tell me the truth.
Yes.
Welcome. We are joined in the studio today by the wonderful Amberly Rothfield.
Woo!
Amberly is a best-selling author, sexpert, educator, phone sex operator, dominatrix, and she doesn't just stop there. She's a marketing extraordinaire with 13 years experience who's been featured in Vice, AVN, Xbiz, and Why Not. She writes for Slutty Girl Problems, which Aspen and I are a huge fan of.
Big fan Slutty Girl Problems. They're
love
incredible.
your work. Mm-hmm. And as a phone sex operator, she actually wrote a book, and the book is called How I Made $10,000 a Month as a Phone Sex Operator, which has been a bestseller, and it inspires entrepreneurs, phone sex operators, and cam girls. She's also recently launched masterclasses geared at indie models and companies with marketing techniques to take their brands to the next level. So we are honored to be in the presence of Amberly. Welcome.
Woo, let's give a round of applause, baby. Snaps on the Love Lounge. A queen is amongst us.
Oh, I feel the same about you guys. No, I had to work myself to this level to be able to be worth being on your podcast.
Not even.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah, we are honored. Thank you. I know that you don't even live in Los Angeles. Is that right?
Yeah, no, I live in Bumblefuck, Ohio.
Well, it's great to have you here. I want to
Yes.
say that you flew out for this, but we aren't at that level yet. So
We cannot yet pay for airfare.
you've been here for And Me and Xbiz, is that right?
yeah.
That's what brought you to LA. And then also AVN, because we are recording this ahead of AVN in Vegas next week. So
driving
we'll
over
be
there
seeing you there
Tuesday.
as well.
That'd be a nice road trip.
So for all the non-industry people, these are one of our biggest trade shows of the year.
Yeah,
And
I like to tell people it's like the Grammys.
oh, totally.
Yeah,
it's like the
the
Grammys,
Grammys.
Emmys, and Golden Globes. It's the awards season.
Exactly.
So we had Aspen and I went to the Xbiz Awards this week.
You were there last night.
Oh, we didn't go last night. We went to
Wednesday.
the night before because we did the exec
executive.
awards. Yeah.
I'm not that
So we
bougie.
were kind of shielded from the spiciness
Yes.
of last night's awards.
Last night was fun. Last night was chaotic.
Was it?
Was it?
Yeah, Stormy Daniels, like, she was fabulous.
Was she
Was she?
hosting?
She was tipsy.
Oh, I love it.
Oh,
And it-
that's
it made
what I'm
it-
I
here
expect
for.
nothing less.
Her and Riley Reid made out.
Like a
she
Britney Madonna moment.
It was like she was like down asking people questions, and she walks past Riley Reid. She goes, "I love you, even though you would never make out with me." And Riley was like,
Let's
Challenge.
go.
Challenge
Done.
accepted. Wow. He just
Yeah.
made out right there.
They're just
You
right
know
there.
what? That
All
didn't
right.
happen at the exec awards.
You know
I
what? We
will
were
say
just
that.
eating mashed potatoes and tiramisu. And laughing. That's what
Wait
we
a
were
second,
doing.
you got tiramisu?
Oh, girl, it was good.
No one gave me tiramisu.
Oh,
so sorry.
yeah.
Trade-offs.
Yeah, there were
so-
trade-offs,
trade-offs,
but we didn't have
trade-offs.
any girl-on-girl action. So you win some, you lose some. And I ended up in bed early. So it was definitely a quiet night.
You know?
But it was great. So Voodoo Toys, who brings you this wonderful podcast. They were nominated for a couple of awards. Our plug walk for the butt plug. It was the non-powered
Non-powered
sex toy
yeah.
award. Our mini Halo, which is our best-selling vibrator.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh, yes, it is. Looks
yes,
like we've got
it
a
is.
fan in the building.
I am a flippin' fan.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
That
I've
makes
got
me
one in my
happy.
trunk, actually. I mean that in my car.
Yeah.
And marketing campaign of the year awards Voodoo was up for, and I was nominated for business exec of the year award.
Yes, she was.
Business development exec.
Snaps for Sal.
Yes. Thank
Love
you.
it.
I mean, I've
queen.
only been in this industry for less than a year, so
Damn, bitch.
it's nice to be recognized.
You
Yeah.
say it like that.
But I need
No,
to
girl,
know
you
a
were.
lot.
Feel free.
There's a lot I need to learn.
That is
That's
Fabulous.
awesome.
So it's great to be able to have someone like you in here who's got a little more expertise
Steal
and
my brain.
knowledge. And I'm going to pick it. Yes.
Yes. We love.
So thank you for joining us. So do you travel around for work often, or are you normally based in Ohio?
We lived in Vegas. Ironically, we moved last year during the polar vortex. That happened right after AVN.
The polar vortex.
Yeah, we drove through that shit.
I don't know what
Was that
that
when it
was.
was snowing?
Oh yeah, the big snow when when
Yeah.
it was colder in
Yeah.
Chicago than it was but we were right outside Chicago when that happened.
Really?
So you were driving through the snow.
Yeah, no, and we didn't know what a polar vortex was. And so
No.
the temperature dropped like 10 degrees because we have an outside read in our car. It dropped 10 degrees in like 5 minutes. And I was like, that ain't normal. So my wife's looking up and she's like, I think we should stop. And I was like, what is it? And she's like, it's something called a polar vortex. And I was like, we're fine. Keep going.
No.
Yeah, we ended up like in the middle of Nebraska. And I was like, we're supposed to make it to Chicago tonight.
No chance.
Did not.
Did you get
That's
snowed in
scary.
your car?
No, we got into it. We found ironically a Motel 6, but like it was in the middle of nowhere, and I was just like, we're going to die though. But because it was a sketcy looking.
Yeah, I was going to say that wouldn't be the first time someone died in a Motel 6. But
Exactly.
you got to make do with what you've got.
Exactly.
Yikes.
Not that they're
But you
bad.
made it.
I know a lot of people use them. They're not bad, but this one was really in a very sketchy, scary area.
No, thank you.
Middle of
But
nowhere.
you live to tell the tale.
But I live the tale. Spoiler alert, I live.
And she's here with us too.
So, but yeah, no, I live in Ohio. But I do travel around. I travel a lot now. It was something that was dear to my heart. Just there's a lot of cities that girls tell me all the time, can you record your talks when you go to these major cities, these major cons? And I'm like, I ain't the event coordinator. And they're going to say no.
yeah.
And they do say no because like their incentive is to get more people to come out. So I can't like share my talks with people. But what I was like, what I can do is I can just independently go out to the middle of nowhere. Again,
Yeah. Like,
well, it all
hey,
comes
let's
back
do
to the
it.
middle of nowhere. Apparently,
Right? The middle of nowhere where I don't want
And
to be.
so, what are some of your favorite topics to give talks about?
my favorite topics: not relying on social media to build your business. That's really prevalent. Not that like social media isn't powerful. I'm not that person who's like anti-social media, but I think a lot of us depend on it way too much to put ourselves out there.
Yeah, and they think it's the only way that
only
they
way,
can
yeah.
generate
Yeah.
customers or interest.
And like, look what happened when Instagram went psycho and started like kicking us off and everything.
Oh, yeah.
So I like to help people, not so much in their reliance on social media, but like build backups in place. Like find like actually Dominic Ford of Just for Fans just came out with, well, I guess maybe he didn't just come out with it, but he has this service where it's called Follow Me. I don't remember the exact domain. I literally found out about this 2 days ago. But if everybody follows you on there, if you make a new Twitter or something, you can send a message to them and get them all to follow you on your new Twitter.
Wow.
I might look that up and put it in the show notes because that's interesting.
Yeah, it's for the guy that made Just for Fans. So shout out to Dominic Ford for that.
Come on, Dominic
cool.
Ford.
Looking
yeah.
out.
In the game.
Coming through for us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like teaching people how to make their own websites, the power of search engine optimization.
Yeah.
Like I know it sounds like one of these like rocket science, I'm never gonna be able to learn it type things. But I like breaking it down, making it very simple, actionable, and teaching girls that they have that power to do that, and also use social media to drive traffic to your site because that's what builds us as brands.
That's awesome. Yeah, I
This is
was
power.
looking at some of your work and how
God. I'm
you really
sorry.
are a marketing expert
You
too.
are,
Like,
yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have a field in which you really are an expert, but then you also broadly really seem to understand the marketing landscape in general.
Yeah, it's 'cause
and
I'm-
I was going through your feed and I'm like, oh, great tip. Thank
Yeah. And your feed is also, it's like bite-sized
Shit, you
bits.
know it too.
Oh, girl, we did our stocking. We did our stocking. We took
Yeah.
our notes.
For our listeners, it's at Amberly Owns You on Instagram.
Yes. And it's great because it's bite-sized pieces of marketing
need to
tips
update
that
more.
I need. No, it's great. I
I do
really
daily
appreciate
on
it.
Twitter. I need to do daily on Instagram.
And
as
your
well.
Twitter is the same?
No, it's Amberly PSO, like phone sex operator.
Oh,
Because I
great.
thought that was clever. It's not. It's not.
Public service organization too.
Yeah, at that. Yeah.
There you go.
It's really
You know?
helping us out. You are really
is.
doing a public service to a lot of girls because that's the thing we have uncovered since we've sort of stepped into this industry, that a lot of girls feel like they don't have as many rights as they actually do have, or they don't have a voice, and they don't have places to turn to in order to make sure that they're protected, doing the right things, making sure that they're looking out for themselves, and just basically feel strong enough to stand up for themselves if they're ever in situations where they feel unsafe or unsure of themselves. So it's people like you who can give them a voice and give them some guidance, which can probably like save lives, save them money,
Exactly.
save them time, and it really
will
like
make me
helps
cry.
them feel
No,
confident.
exactly.
I'm a soppy bollocks little thing.
No, it's all
Good.
right. And you give them a safe space
I already
to
cried
go
this
to.
morning, so it's fine. We're
Yeah,
all-
we're crying. We're crying. But yeah, everyone loves a safe space, and you offer that. So I think it's really powerful.
I try to. I try
Yeah.
to be Switzerland. Whenever there's drama and stuff, I'm like, okay, but is it about marketing?
So you actually wrote a huge book that's really helped a lot of people, and it has a lot of traction, and you know, it's on Amazon, and you basically really empowered women through your story of how you navigated phone sex work and marketing to earn $10,000 a month.
yeah,
Which is incredible. That's
that
an
was
incredible
amazing.
feat. I'm sure a lot of people wouldn't understand that you can earn that type of money through that type of work.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's dead. And I have to say how I have to put it in past tense for legal reasons, but still make the same amount. It's still possible. No, that was an accident. That was not, you have to, so everything that I've done that may seem quasi-impressive or impressive was a fucking accident. I don't know.
But did you accidentally write this book? Because that
did.
requires a lot
of skill and patience.
discipline.
Yeah.
But what had happened was, no, I was the top model on a couple of different sites, and girls kept coming to me. Like I was like when I say I was the top on like Night Flirt for 5, 6, almost 7 years.
Wow.
And to the point where they changed the algorithm.
They were like, we need to give this a chance for some other girl.
Yeah.
People were complaining.
Sure.
So
they just couldn't compete.
But then
insane.
I stayed there. But
well, you're making the money.
That's my Aspie superpower. I'm really good at like looking at things and figuring out how to I figure out how the algorithm works, and then I figure out not like how to hack it, not how to like do something unethical, but like how to position myself within it.
Yeah,
if
how
that
to use
makes
it to your
sense.
advantage.
Well,
Yeah.
You have a marketing-minded brain. I think that's what a lot of people...
Yes, but I also walk into doors. Like I like to tell people, like, don't think
She's not perfect. Nobody is.
I promise you that like it's the only good thing I've got going for me. I like to tell people I don't know if I'm a good wife. I don't know.
Don't know if that's true.
I'm a good person, and I walk into doors. I misspell shit, but fuck, I'm good at marketing. It's the only thing I'm good at.
Great.
We
No,
love
it's great to
that.
have a superpower.
It is.
It's great that you can actually channel that into something productive that is actually like earning you income, but as well helping other people. I think that is a crazy superpower.
Yeah, that's I like to say, what is it? What's the Peter Parker phrase? With great
Power comes great
responsibility.
responsibility.
Yeah. I was like, I can sit here and make a shit ton of money, but what am I doing? Like,
Great.
am I,
Exactly.
Can I
am I
share
Scrooge
this
McDuck?
with-
Exactly.
So so like, anyways, back to the book. But yeah, so I just got the same questions from girls.
Yeah, so you're on the site, you're doing really well,
Yeah.
and girls would see you
Yeah.
ranking as number one, and they'd reach out to you and be like, hey, do you have any advice? Do you have any
and,
tips?
Wow.
Like, here's a big tip if you're like wanting to do any business. Reach out to the people that are higher than you. Reach out to the people that you're like, there's no way they're going to answer, because the worst case scenario is they don't get back to you.
Sure.
Exactly.
Anyone who has the guts to ask me a question, I'm going to honor that, because like that took some fucking. It's not easy to be like, okay, so you're up there, I'm down here. How do I get? It's not easy to ask that question.
Exactly.
So
But that's very kind of you to have time to help others, even while you're trying to help yourself and you're trying to work and you're trying to balance life and being a wife.
it also goes back to like my childhood, like story. I feel like I say it 1,000 times, but your listeners probably haven't heard it. I was homeless at 17 because my mom was just really addicted to drugs.
Oh,
and
wow.
It wasn't a good situation. Actually, she left when I was 9, and then she came back when I was 14, and I wanted my mommy back because I was a mama's girl when she left. So, and when I say left, she like disappeared. So, went to go back live with her. She was very drug-addled. Bad stuff was going on. So I was homeless at 17, and I was sleeping in the back seats of my friends' cars. Wow. So that I could keep going to school, so that I would have a place to stay, and I wouldn't be imposing upon. And also I didn't want like adults knowing I was homeless and like throwing me into a home. So
Right.
when I hit 18 is when I discovered phone sex, and it got me off. I was taking calls, like this is back in the day when like lines, like phones had lines with them.
Oh, yeah.
So my friends had like run the line out a window, and I'm like taking phone sex calls in my backyard.
Wow. That's entrepreneurial.
That is like, if any means possible, I'm doing this. Like, I am doing this.
Yeah,
That's
no.
incredible.
Yeah, because I didn't have a car, so I couldn't like get around to go to a job, and I was finishing high school, motherfuckers. So
yeah, you were adamant about that.
Yes,
Good
I
for
was like,
you.
I'm gonna finish high school. I'm not gonna drop out, because my only options were to get a job and then not drop out. That was the only way to make this work. So, anyways, so yeah, I'm like taking phone calls. I'm paying them $5, $10, and as I
To
got
use
more
their
and more
phone,
money-
and then you're making money.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. That's brilliant.
So yeah, this is the industry that saved me. So if someone's going to reach out to me and they need that saving, I'm going to give them the line that get it. Haha.
Perfect. Yeah. You're the metaphorical line out the window to somebody who wants to try it and just needs some help.
Exactly.
beautiful.
Because what happens if I didn't have a friend who would have done that? So because that was a really weird fucking ask.
Sure.
18 years old, senior year of high school. Yo, I need to talk dirty to some motherfuckers outside your room.
Make some money.
Yeah, that was.
They were probably just fascinated. Like, what do you say to
They
them?
kind of were. Like I could look up and see the little beady eyes. I'm like,
This is not for your ears.
Right?
You're not paying for my
You're
time.
not paying for my time. I love that.
Well, how did you discover? Like, what sparked that? Oh, I could make money this way, or I could call into this number and then I could talk to people and earn money. How did that spark in your mind?
so like they had green sheets are like penny saver.
I've heard of it.
Okay, so it's like a paper that's like in every city, and it's like Craigslist but like paper. So I saw that in the back of one of them it said voice actors paid by the minute, and I was like, I go, actually they had a facility in my city, and like I went in there, and it also said work from home. That was a big thing because now I don't have to worry about travel.
Exactly.
Because the problem was like an hour by bus, an hour back. I can only be there 8 hours. I was gonna get no sleep. So
Yeah.
so I go into the office and they were like, "You look young," and I was like, "Cause I am," and they're like, "You're not gonna stick around long," and I was like,
Try me.
bet. And they were like, "This is for phone sex," and I was like, still down.
Good for you.
There we go.
Yeah, and they were like, it worked out to like $15 an hour, which sounds like shit now, but
No,
like,
that's actually higher than the minimum wage in America.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, in 2005, it was like 3 times.
Yeah.
Like in my area, I remember I was working at a grocery store at one point for $5 an hour.
Yeah, you
So
said
this
like
is like-
7-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's like physical labor.
Yeah, exactly. And this is like 15. So
Wow.
at the point, I'm making 3 times as much as my friends. So I was like, done.
Done.
And
Whatever it takes.
You only get paid when you're on the phone, but like the calls came pretty quick. So I hated it at first. I was like, just do this, get stable, go find something, quote, real.
Regular.
Yeah.
Go for
Yeah.
a regular job.
Yeah, go find something I can tell daddy about. And then, but I ended up loving it over time.
How did you learn what to say?
Yeah.
You know what? The funny thing is I tell people if you really want to get into this business, improv is an amazing skill to get. But I like to think that I got improv on the job because, like,
Totally.
for me, it was get good or die. So I had to, like,
Learn how to respond in a way that would keep them on the phone.
yeah,
Keep them interested, so you were learning quick.
exactly. And I also I had to start thinking, what happens when I get awkward? What gets me out of being awkward? So I was really good at taking someone who's feeling awkward. Maybe they're not an awkward person, but it is awkward connecting with someone and saying like beating
And a
him.
stranger you don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
To be
Yeah.
like, hey, I want to get off.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I was like, what can I do to get awkward? And I was like, ask them questions about themselves, like turn it on them and be like, oh my God, I can hear your breathing. You sound excited. Oh my God, that turns me on. Tell me what's got you going.
Great.
And
So
all of
it's
a sudden they're
you
like,
turn it
oh.
on them and they
Yeah.
feel exciting.
Exactly.
Yeah. And them feeling that I'm excited about their excitement, all of a sudden they're like, I'm in. This is what I'm so happy about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then they also feel like they're a little bit in control as well when you're asking the question. Then it's like they're steering that conversation. Wow.
Exactly. And just making them feel like I am the most excited like co-pilot ever. Like, and then what happens?
That's
Like,
Oh, right.
awesome.
Come on, enthusiasm. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
And you do have a beautiful voice too.
Thank you. It's a little rough right now because I was screaming my head off last night. But
The awards.
yeah,
You were like, Stormy, make out.
yeah, I was.
Get it, girl.
I had so many friends nominated for stuff. I was like, yes! And then I was like,
That's
I
awesome.
have to. Fuck.
Yeah, well, it's one
Right,
of the biggest nights of the year, so we can forgive you. That's
Exactly.
fine.
Thank you. I did throat coat this morning, which
Oh, I
tastes like
love throat coat, but it tastes horrible. But it
yeah,
really
exactly.
works.
It tastes like piss.
Wait,
I've
yeah.
never heard of
It's
it.
this tea that you can get, and it like kind of puts a coat over your throat to ease like
don't-
irritation and
I don't care
swelling.
how raspy your voice gets. Also, if you want to be a phone sex operator, throat coat on deck all times.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that must be in your toolkit.
You're like
Yeah.
your little stash
Because you got to talk a lot.
You talk a lot. Yeah, I talked on average about if you put it all together, 6 consecutive hours a day.
Oh my!
And then would you go
wow.
home or like see friends and be like, I literally can't talk to you right now. I'm so big.
Oh yeah, I'm a text person. Like I will try to not. I'm a lot better about it now that I don't take as many phone calls.
Yep.
But back when it was my main source of income, fuck you.
Yeah.
Here's an email.
Wow.
I like.
Great. And your friends, you're like, I'm being introverted tonight. I'm just staying in. I can't talk anymore.
I'll go out with them, but I would literally just get on my phone and just be like,
Sit
"Here's
there.
the answer."
Yeah, I
Type
can't
the
save
answer
my
out.
voice.
Read this for
Yeah.
me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sheesh Louise.
And so you're doing this while you're still in high school when you first started?
Yeah, my senior year of high school. And then, like, it was so funny because guys would call and they'd be like, "How old are you?" I'm like, "I'm 18. Are you still in school?" "Yes." "Lying, bitch." Click. I was like,
You're like straight up, but for real.
but
I
for
am.
real though.
"I'm your teenage
Yeah.
dream."
And people would start to request you, I imagine.
Yeah.
Some companies don't allow that, just in case people are doing the research. But this company did, and I actually started doing very, very well to the point where that's where I learned. I hate it when people are like, "Oh, I can work whenever I want." No, I couldn't. I had to work whenever these guys typically were
Wanted.
off
Yeah.
of work. Yeah, exactly. So that's when I learned to have a consistent schedule. And when I had a consistent schedule, it was back to back. Guys
Wow.
would wait for me.
Wow.
Yeah, and the operators that like take the credit card information, able to be trying to convince them to be like, "Hey, yeah, I know you waited 10 minutes. She's still not off her other call. Would you like to speak with one of the other girls?" No,
No.
bitch.
Happy to wait.
Oh,
Wow.
she's in high demand.
know.
That's really cool.
Yeah, you
that's
must
really
really have
cool.
a talent.
Yeah.
No, well, again, it was get good or die.
So were you living with your dad or did you have to tell your dad what you were doing?
So my parents lived in 2 separate cities. My dad was in Dallas, which is northern Texas, and my mom was in San Antonio. And I didn't want to leave San Antonio because I'd spent that was
all
my
your
high
friends
school.
were there.
Yeah, like I had some friends, but like they had gone through a different high school experience, and I knew San Antonio from like partying. Like I knew all the spots. I like San Antonio. I
Yeah.
didn't want to go
Right.
back and live with my dad.
Right, but
Yeah.
would he ask like how you're doing and how you're surviving financially, and you'd be
yeah.
like, "I'm good."
I'm like, yeah. I told him like I work at Starbucks.
Oh, brilliant!
Smart one. Wow.
Yeah.
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 That's a good one.
I work at Starbucks, Dad. Just got my first apartment. And he's like, be careful. Like, you don't know how to do finances. And I was like, you'd be surprised.
You'd be really surprised.
He'd be like, you need to be frugal. I was like, I ate moldy McDonald's burgers out of the back bin. I'm fine. I didn't
man.
tell
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you had to kind of protect your parents because you were like the more responsible one in that.
Yeah, no.
Dynamic.
Well, even when I moved in with my mom at 14, I was like
The
paying
responsible
bills.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was finding ways to wheel and deal, sell not like nothing illegal, but like I would make stuff and like
Yeah.
babysit and pay bills. and
Yeah.
Well, you
stuff.
had to survive.
Exactly.
You had to figure it out.
And I was like hiding it from my looking back now, like I should have just fucking told my dad and just but whatever, you know.
Sure. But
Yeah.
you never know. And also as a kid, you're like, I don't know how okay this is and I'm surviving right now and
Exactly.
this is working, so I don't
The
want to
devil you know.
upset. the-
Exactly.
Yeah, the devil you know.
Yep.
And Starbucks is what every parent I'm sure wants to hear.
Exactly. A nice wholesome job out of high school. You know, Starbucks. It's great.
Starbucks.
It's great.
Yeah, it's great, Dad.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, so from there, you graduated high school, and then did you start doing this full time?
Ironically, I went into the military.
Oh,
'Cause that was
wow.
like real job.
You know, I did not find that in my research about you.
I don't talk about. Actually, this
That's
might be
really
the first
cool.
podcast I'm talking about it on.
Wow.
Yeah, I went into the Navy and I went
Whoa.
through Great
Yeah.
Mistakes, Illinois. It's Great Lakes, but that's So that's where the boot camp is. We call it Great Mistakes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went in there and I did a small stint in there and had an accident I don't talk too much about because it's some classified stuff.
Sure.
But I got medically discharged. So,
Right.
But then I went
Alright.
right back into being a hoe.
Did they
So,
teach you a
There
lot
we
of
go.
discipline in the military?
nothing more than I already fucking had.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
had to have it
yeah.
together anyway. Whereas I
Yeah.
know a couple of people who would probably do quite well being sent to a military camp
yes.
to learn how to, do their laundry, wake up every morning at the same time, make their bed. So,
Honestly, it was like a relief. I was like, wait, there's 3 meals a day.
yeah.
Yeah.
And someone else is in charge of that, and that pressure is not on me.
It's
to
not
try and
and my
figure it
clothes-
out.
exactly.
My clothes get washed.
Your clothes get
My
washed.
clothes
That is
get
actually
washed.
incredible.
That is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was great.
Wow.
And then so you went back to
Phone sex.
Texas.
Yes, I
and
went
you
back
did
to
phone sex, and you were doing that for how long? And then you moved to Vegas.
Oh Lord. Actually, I met my first husband, which it was like totally platonic. This is back in Don't Ask, Don't Tell times.
Right.
And so he's gay. I'm lesbian.
That's my dream, is to have a gay husband.
Right. And so he gets paid more to have me be his wife. And
Oh, great.
yeah, and he also gets to be on the down low.
Yep.
And back then I was a lot skinnier, very fit, and also always my hair was always perfectly coiffed, always had makeup.
Who's got the
on.
time?
Yeah, I don't have that time anymore.
You were like, I'm practicing. I'm cosplaying being a wholesome wife.
Wholesome
right
wife
now.
right now.
much.
Yeah.
Pretty
yeah.
much. And so like when rumors came around that like he was doing gay stuff, I was like, he was with me last night and look at
Oh,
the
living
yeah.
this.
Oh,
Great.
okay.
Yeah. So he got stationed in Georgia and we were there for about 5 years, maybe closer to 6. And then that's when I met my current wife. And I was like, yo, so you're getting out of the military. So you don't need me no more. And there's no more Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Yeah.
So we're
What do
gonna
I do?
divorce.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be over here because this one's pretty.
Yeah. You're like, I
This
like
one's
it over
actually
here.
into me,
Yes.
and we're the same.
Yes.
That's great.
Wow.
This
All
one,
right.
this one, yeah. And I'm still friends with my first husband. So.
That's great.
And so, what age were you when you started earning $10,000 a month? That's a big amount of money to
Way
be
too
earning.
young.
How old?
Way too young.
Ooh.
Really, everything clicked when I was about 20,
Wow.
and
I could never have been earning that much money a month at
I
20.
shouldn't have been.
Oh,
man.
I would have gone.
Because I had no
Should've listened to
fiscal
Dad more.
responsibility then.
Well, I had none either. Like I had some. What's it called? All the stupid shit you shouldn't have.
Sure, like every
of it.
latest technology thing and
Yeah.
like clothes and
Yeah.
makeup.
I was not investing in a goddamn thing.
Yeah, and you just felt like it would keep going forever.
Yeah, well, I don't even know if the
Or you
funny
didn't
thing-
even think
it's
about
more
that.
dangerous to not even think about it
Yep.
than to think it's going to go forever. If someone's thinking, "Oh, it's going to go forever," at least you know that person's an idiot.
At least you're thinking in the future somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
Somehow, yeah.
I wasn't even there. I was just like, because I was so used to living minute to minute. that-
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, you were conditioned
Yeah.
for that.
So I was just like, oh, I have this money. I better go buy something I'm going to go need. Like a
Right.
Birkin bag.
Exactly.
Yeah, wow.
No one needs a
No
one needs a Birkin bag.
But you're
Oh,
like, what
Target
do I
has
do with
a
all this
just
money?
Yeah.
But then I got wise and I was like, I shouldn't be buying stuff.
Cool.
I should be spending money on experiences. But
Okay.
all of my friends are broke. So I should spend money on
Their
their experiences.
experiences.
And then my
Yeah.
friend group crazily changed. I know you won't believe this. But I started having some best friends I didn't know were gonna be my
Really? They
best
came out the
friends.
woodwork. Just like, oh my, I'm her best friend. You're like, I don't
Exactly.
know
Are
you.
we soulmates?
Right?
And then what?
What day is Cabo?
Oh,
Man, you're like, who are you again? Wow.
Yeah.
And so
that
you
happened.
kind of became like the central figure in the friend group because people were relying on you to kind of look after them, or
Pretty much.
Wow.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And that became very toxic. And I am a natural helper. I know you won't believe this.
You're speaking to two other people,
Right? Like,
Yeah, I suffer from a lot of codependency. Or I can say suffer, but like I definitely
No, it is
am
suffer.
a codependent person.
It is.
And I do think it's my responsibility to help others if
You can't
I
tell me your
can.
problem.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, if you tell me a problem,
You need to
it's
say
then
vent
my
first.
responsibility.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Even if it's something that I know I can help you on, don't tell me because I will think about it all day. Like, how can I help this person?
Yeah.
And my day, where is it? I'm not even thinking about what I need. But
Yeah.
it's just like, how can I help this
I
person?
will,
so that,
I will
yeah.
not bathe. I will be the most disgusting piglet in the room because I'm spending days thinking about how to fix
And trying to help
your problem.
others. Yeah.
Yeah, I will literally like seppuku myself to
Yeah.
try and save
You'll
you.
sacrifice yourself.
Yeah.
And people leech onto that, especially when you have all this money going around. People are like,
And
oh,
when they
yes.
can't help themselves.
Exactly.
It became a cesspool moment. Then I became very, very angry and just
Resentment. Exactly.
That is the codependency cycle. You help, you silently build up resentment, and then you implode or you explode
Yeah.
and you take it out
that
on
happened
people.
with a lot of alcohol.
Oh yeah,
child.
that's a dangerous mix.
It was like
Yeah.
when you offered me alcohol earlier, I was like, I'm allergic. I break out in handcuffs.
Oh, true.
Oh, I was, oh my God. My whole body, I said, do we have water? Where's the water?
Where's the
like, I
water?
was scanning for water. I was like, okay, good. Ooh, she said, bring out
PSA,
handcuffs.
we are drinking margaritas right
Yes.
now.
Swazwa Agua Frete, spiked sparkling water.
Yeah, live a little
Yes.
tequila.
Not sponsored.
Non-sponsored. Looking
great.
for it.
It's actually not bad. I like it. Yeah. My American palate.
Yeah, yeah. It's not too sweet.
I like it.
You know what I should do is actually I want to pause for a moment to talk about our sponsor Voodoo. As great a time as any, if we're talking about self-care and caring for ourselves first, one of the most important things we can do is take time, if it's once a week or hopefully once a day, where you can actually invest in your long-term health. And one thing that is really important for that is Kegel exercises. If you want to continue to have a healthy sex life and you want to have bladder control, very
Come on, bladder
important. We're not
control.
thinking about it in our 20s, but it is actually really important. And so Voodoo is our sponsor and they have these awesome Kegels. They've got two different types. They've got the cherry Kegels, which look like cute little cherries, and they're completely body safe, made of silicone, and they come in 5 varied weights. So you can start at the lightest and you can build up. So basically you have it inside yourself for a couple of minutes up to an hour and you can be walking around doing your like daily routine, but it actually helps strengthen your pelvic floor and it can mean that you can have like more intense sex, you can have better feeling, and you can also control your bladder more, which is a lot of concerns, is a concern for a lot of women who've had babies or have had any type of like vaginal issues. So, and they also have Kegel balls, which are the less, which are at a lower price point, and there's 2, and you can actually slowly build up to incorporating these in your routine every single day. And they're really great for, strengthening your, what are we going to call it? Your puss.
Your puss.
Your
I actually
puss.
have mine in right now.
Do you really?
I never take them out.
I never take them out. Unless
You
I
never
need
take
it.
them out.
That could be a health issue.
You're like, I have a podcast to record. That's perfect.
It's perfect. I love it.
So we could call it your most personal trainer.
Your most personal trainer.
Yeah,
We
it's a
love
really
it.
intimate training experience, but it just helps strengthen your walls.
That's awesome. No, I've had 3 kids. Let me tell you.
Great.
Kegels. No, like I found out the rough way. Don't be like me.
Yeah, don't leave it until you've had kids to work on something like this.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Fucking
And it can really help because like if you're using your core every single day to like lift things, lift your kids, or like just like Aspen's in her active wear right now. She's been lifting. So if you're like just using your core muscles every single day, you need to make sure you're also engaging your pelvic floor.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm learning more about this as we're working with it. These are one of our most popular items, which is incredible, and it does really help women. So you can get our Voodoo Kegels at over 1,000 retailers across the US, but you can also get them online at www.voodoo.toys. You can follow Voodoo at voodoo.vibe on Instagram. And Oral Fixation listeners get 33% off their purchase, which is crazy.
You saving
A
money.
third. We pulled some strings.
Yeah, we did. All right, for you.
Yeah,
So
we're on
order now.
the inside men. So we pulled a couple of strings.
I don't think you're making money off that.
Yeah, you know what? This is a charity service.
Like, No, like seriously, like that's like a business thing. Usually you look at the price of what something costs to make it,
Yep.
labor, everything, and you multiply it by 3 so that you have investors and then you have profit. You guys are not making profit off that.
Yeah, we're taking a third off for our listeners.
Yeah.
So take advantage while you can before our boss finds out.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Yeah. Ooh. Order now before, but there's no discount at all. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
So the promo code is oral33. You can enter it at checkout, and you can get 33% off anything online. But our Kegels are kick ass, so give them a try. So you've lived a lot of life.
I've lived a lot of life.
You're still very young. I'm looking at you. You literally look like you're
feel like it.
26.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you. Black, don't crack, baby.
Straight up.
I'm cracking before your very eyes. Yeah, I'm like in the dry California air. I'm like, oh my god, my pale pasty skin can't handle this.
Goes in the sun for
You
5
still look
seconds. Like,
fabulous. What are you talking about?
You
Oh,
do.
thanks.
Yeah.
I faked 10 for the Xbiz Awards, so
yes.
If I look like you, I wouldn't know that drinks cost money.
Oh, too kind. Do they? Just
that-
kidding. Just
that's
kidding.
a
I bought
great-
these drinks that we've got right now.
That's a great compliment. I'm going to start using that.
You should.
Write that down. Yeah, that's great.
I stole it
Yeah.
from somewhere.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
I need to find out that drinks are free in LA. I don't really go out much, but I should.
Hey.
Maybe I'll turn over a new leaf in 2020.
Yes.
Yes. Come on now.
Roaring 20s.
Yeah, so you were making $10,000 a month.
Yes.
And then you got fiscally responsible
I made a
because
lot
you had
more
a
than
couple
10
of
grand.
Well, see, that's amazing. So you're
That's
teaching
nice.
people how to make 10 grand, but you were earning more than that.
I tell people the reason why the book is titled that is I made well north of that, so I feel comfortable
Being able
teaching
to
you
teach
how to
people.
make 10.
Makes
That's
sense.
incredible.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
great.
and
I
then,
made a sick amount of money.
yeah, I mean, I would love to get to that level. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start. Well, it's funny because I'm a brand manager for Voodoo, a sex toy brand, and in my bedroom I have like a little bit of a mini makeshift photo studio if I need to get
Ooh.
online content. So I have like a tripod, I've got light boxes, and I have a giant like pile of sex toys essentially. And one of my roommate's girlfriends came over, and she walked into my room instead of my roommate's, and she was like, "Is your roommate a cam girl? No judgment, but like, looks like it." And I was like, "Well, look, I've got all the equipment."
If I were you, I would be hopping on like Mini Vids Live and doing like reviews and talking about it like weekly. Yeah.
Oh, so I
Yeah.
can just do toy reviews on there.
I do it. I'll hop on and I'll just sit there and talk about like you're not gonna get like thousands of people watching you because
Yeah.
like no vaginas out.
Yeah.
But like other cam girls come and see it. So.
Oh, great. And they can learn
Really?
about the brand, and then they can reach out to me.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Brilliant. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm willing to
boom.
try it.
Yeah. That
Yeah,
sounds
just
cool.
dive right
Yeah.
in.
I have some
Yeah.
ideas for you.
Great. I bet you do. I think this is just the way your
Nice.
brain works.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Very weird ways.
Well, I feel like you can just see it. It's like you can sort of see the matrix and like how to
See the matrix.
yeah, and how to
Exactly.
kind of like
I think-
optimize it.
Also I'm the baby of the family. I'm the last child, so I like to tell people I've always been in the business of getting attention.
Me too.
So
Straight up.
Yeah,
Same.
like-
Well, you're speaking to an only child and a youngest.
Yep.
Oh, you understand.
So I understand, baby.
Yes.
It's all about me, all or nothing.
yeah, exactly. Fuck by siblings.
And she's a Leo, so
Oh,
I have no boundaries.
no boundaries.
No
You're
boundaries.
a Leo too.
Yeah.
So is my wife. August 9th.
Yeah,
On
Leo-
August 9th?
Leos
August
are amazing.
16th?
Sorry, August 6th.
Oh, August. Okay, August 16th.
I should probably learn her birthday.
Dang. It's all right.
Burn.
We can, I
Sorry,
can
she
edit
said
that out.
she
Love you.
understands. She knows. She knows I forget. It's fine.
So what spurned you on to actually start writing the book? The girls were reaching
yes.
out to you.
Yeah, and like I try to be very efficient. Not in my look, but in my business. So I started like seeing the same questions over and over again. So I typed out an answer for a girl one time, copied it, saved it in Word document.
Great.
And then I would get like the second most popular one. And over the course of about a year or two, I had 300 pages. Like I would just, when people would ask me stuff, I would just type F find or control find and
Yeah.
I'd find that section and copy paste.
Wow.
And I was like, this some bitch is a book. So
Yeah, you're like, I could compile this into like a
Yeah.
resource.
it was. I had my friend write a forward for it. I bought Grammarly, like the
I love
Great.
Grammarly.
Oh my
yeah.
God, yes.
I ran through it sort of because I was like, who's gonna read this fucking
Yeah,
book? My
yeah.
granny woo. So I put it out there for free. There's this website called Gumroad, like I'm chewing gum going down a road.
Okay.
And I just tossed it up there and gave it for free, and it got 10,000 downloads in a day.
Whoa.
And again, it was free, and I was like, shit. And then,
You're like, I should have charged for this.
I mean, but at the same time, like, they're reading it, they don't know who I am, and I'm like, they're probably not too happy that they read this right now because I'm thinking it's trash.
Sure.
And so I started getting people going, I wish this was on Amazon. I want to support you. Thank you for doing this. And I was like, okay. And it just became so overwhelming. Like, I honestly, it sounds like I'm like bullshitting, but I was getting 50 to 60 emails a day
Wow.
saying, I want to pay you for this.
That's hard to manage too.
It really, it got fucking
especially for
annoying,
one
truth be
person,
told.
yeah.
Yep.
So I put it on Amazon, and I put it at a very low price because I'm like, who the fuck's gonna read this shit?
Did you have did you shoot the cover for it or
Yeah.
anything? Or how did you?
I just picked a random picture where I'm going shh and threw it up there. And
Great.
it's a hideous cover because I did it in like 10 minutes and didn't care. Because again, no one's buying this. You have to get in my brain. No one's buying this, right?
Yeah.
So I
and
toss
people
it.
are just asking for it, so fine, I'll put it on Amazon and like I'll just do
Exactly.
what I'm being told.
This is my way of making those 50 to 60 emails go the fuck away because
Cool.
it's too much.
Yep.
So, or rather, when they ask me a question, just give them a link, go away. Like, I don't
Yep.
want to type out this big long thing of why.
Yep.
That's why I did the book in the first place. I want to stop typing shit.
Exactly.
So-
Just copy and paste.
Bitch has to work. So I put it on Amazon, and it is, I don't know how, you know what, everyone listening to this, because if they're listening to you guys, they're smart. So it's
Amen.
really hard to get reviews. It's really hard to get reviews on sexually related stuff.
Because people don't want it to be linked to their account.
Yep.
Totally.
So it's up to almost 100 reviews now. And that's
Wow.
like unheard of any adult book out there.
Incredible. But it's obviously such valuable content that people are driven just to want to put it out there to be like, guys, please read this. It really helped me.
like
Exactly.
I didn't write it like post picture on Instagram and guys will find you and you'll make money.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's very much like actionable. Here's step 1. Here's step 2.
Wow.
Go do this. Go do that. Here's how you make different voice sounds. Or
Yeah.
or guys that have like heel fetish and they want you to like walk around in heels. Like I just take a cutting board, a wooden one, and my heel, and I just
Bang
clap it.
against it.
Yeah, because the bitch, I'm fat. I don't walk.
Girl, with heels?
Yeah.
I only have maximum an hour. with
I
those
was in
on.
heels last night, and everybody was like, "Oh, poor Bambi." Like,
You're like,
Poor
this just
Bambi.
isn't me.
baby Bambi.
Heels, no. Baby.
You're like, I'm going to do an ankle right now. So, what I really want to get to, like, the bit that my mind's most curious about, right? Is so what do you say to these guys, right? Like, I mean, you've alluded to the fact that you'll be excited for them, that they're getting excited. But, I mean, I'm sure every guy is different too. And so, yeah, what are some of the most surprising things you've said to guys on?
So I'm gonna go with something mundane. I'll go from mundane to like insane.
Please.
do it.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I was surprised at the amount of guys that would call and wouldn't want sex. They literally just want someone to talk to. Their wife just died.
Yep. They don't want to actually have like a prostitute, for example.
They don't want to have a prostitute. It's not about sex. Yeah, exactly. It's not about a prostitute. Their wife died.
They want
They're socially-
companionship.
Yeah, they're socially awkward. Some of them, their parents died and they've spent their entire life with their parents. It really, I am just filling the role of someone to talk to. So I know it sounds heartbreaking, but it was heartwarming after a while because it's like,
You could
can
be
be
there
that
for
for
them.
someone for them. Yeah.
yeah, a lot of times, like, I remember when I worked for the company, we would have these, like, basically managers that would call in and, like, check in on us, tell us how we're doing. I had one call me and tell me, stop, like, trying to rehabilitate these guys. Because, like, I would push them to go
Get therapy.
Help, yeah,
well, get therapy, but also, like, go. I did push a lot to get therapy.
Oh,
But,
we need people like you pushing
Yes.
pushing
Yes.
men to get therapy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow, you're doing God's work right there. That's great. Yes.
But a lot of them I also push to like go to that bar. There's a bar right down the street. Just go. You're doing the same thing you're doing at home. Just sit there and people watch. And then approach someone. Like look at what people are doing when you see somebody have an open moment. Go and introduce yourself. So like I casually pushed guys that there's one guy, I swear, he said he was a virgin. I'm very like jaded by what guys say at this point.
Yeah.
But after talking to him for a while, I'm pretty sure he was a virgin. And I am the reason Zach got laid.
Woo!
Come on.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Zach.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, he was borderline like almost an incel. Like he almost like was getting to the point where he hated women.
Yeah.
Because like every attempt, like I taught guys game, like
Great.
this
And
is
how to understand women and how to speak to them.
Yeah.
And so the company you were working with was like, hey,
They're like-
do you want to just stick to the script?
Well, they were like, okay, so some of these guys were like really high paying guys, and they would just talk forever. But they were talking about like Pokemon and stuff. Meanwhile, I'm teaching them how to not need this service.
I
of
see.
course.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
they
one-
didn't want to be put out of business. But
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I like left the company because like, but like
ethically, you didn't align with it.
I didn't like it. Like this guy would call me every fucking night and spend hundreds of dollars and be constantly not broke, but like not having like the savings he should.
Sure.
And then like we're talking about stuff, and I was like, okay, but the real reason you're calling me is because you don't know how to find this girl who likes Pokemon, who likes doing these geeky things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I even got this one guy to open, I call it a geek bar. Like, I was like, why don't you just buy a whole bunch of gaming systems? You have some extra money, build a bar,
Yeah.
and then put video game systems in it and only put in games you fucking like.
Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
attract the people who identify with you and that
Exactly.
you can relate to.
Exactly. I
Exactly.
told him at some point this magical unicorn of a female is going to walk through that door. He actually found his wife that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's
That
incredible.
is brilliant.
Yeah.
So getting to do stuff like that, fabulous.
Yeah.
But then you would get stuff like, I would get assholes that I'm just like, you are calling me because you've either A, had a horrible day.
Yep.
Or B, no one else will tolerate your ass.
Sure.
I sure will do it for $6.99 a minute, but
But I'm going to hate every
I'm
second
gonna
of
hate
it.
every second of this.
no, I like money too much. I was laughing at. You would get guys that would call and scream at you. And I
Wow.
at first, like I tried to argue with him, and like I would get mad, and then I just laugh now. I'll put the
Right.
phone on speaker, and I'll hit mute, and I'll just walk around my house like washing dishes while he's screaming, laugh.
I mean, he may as well get it out on someone who you can obviously build a barrier to protect yourself.
Yeah,
And then it's good, I guess, he's getting that out instead of to someone face to face who
Or like- or call-
isn't getting anything out of it.
or calling another phone sex operator who doesn't know how to deal with it. Like
Yeah.
I will gladly take your time, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wow. So you're happy, like, if he's just like, if you're muted and you're getting paid, if he's just like going on a rant, you're
Yeah.
happy. You don't let it affect you. You just
I
let
used
it
to
roll
at
off.
first, but once I realized, okay, but like why hang up? I
It has nothing to do with you.
well that too, and I developed a rule that I don't hang up first.
Great.
So
Okay.
not now if a guy says good night, goodbye, yes, that's fine. Like if
Sure.
I'll give it a beat or two. All right, he didn't realize he didn't hang up. I'll hang up.
Yep.
But this motherfucker sips tea.
Let's hear it.
Yeah. So I agree. You know
Yeah.
what? If he's happy to pay somebody
Yeah.
to
Just
hear
scream
him
at-
rant,
I'm gonna go get my laundry done. I just Swiffered my entire fucking house one time. It's fine.
that's brilliant.
So those are kind of like those are not that frequent, but that's also calls you get. But then like some of the guys have weird fucking fetishes. that-
I can imagine.
to this day, I'm still sometimes stunned. Like there's this one guy who I want to ask him one day. He still calls me where this came from, but we just never managed to get to it because I always want to go through your fantasy first.
Sure.
I'm going to give him 10 free minutes at some point and say, hey, we're going to do your call.
And then can we just
But I
dive in?
have
Yeah.
questions.
Yes.
This guy has a rubber tire fetish.
Interesting.
And he wants to, like, your car is broken down because of a flat tire.
Okay.
And he wants to pull the tire off. He wants to take out all the metal stuff that goes on the inside of the tire. He wants you to, for some godforsaken reason, crawl inside of that, like, hollowed out rubber
Who the hell
tile
can fit
area.
in one of those?
Fantasyland.
It's a
madam.
Fantasyland.
It's Fantasyland, madam.
Fantasy.
And then he wants, for some reason, your ass to just poke up in the air and him to be like, the only way to get you out of that rubber tire before you're suffocated to death is to fuck you. His dick is the key to your survival.
Honestly, I can't count a boyfriend who hasn't told me that.
So it's like the stuck fetish, but also it has to be a rubber.
It has to be a rubber
I've
tire.
tried to take it other directions. I promise you.
Wow.
What if we do a hula hoop? What about a hula hoop?
No hula
but he
hoop.
needs a rubber tire.
It has to be a rubber tire. You have to be on the side of the road.
Okay.
We
side
have
of
to
the
take
road.
the metal part out. It's just been it's been every week for about 5 years.
No way.
Yeah, and he doesn't have too much time to talk because, like, I don't know if it's budgets or if he just doesn't have too much time. It's about a 20-minute call, but, like, I want him to get to his O.
Yeah.
But he usually is like, man, I've really got to go. So,
Dang.
like, I'm still waiting to find out how we got there.
Yeah, that is niche.
So
Rubber tire.
I've actually never
interesting.
heard that.
I was not expecting that at all.
And then, so are there like some common things you talk to your customers about that you think we would be surprised by? Like most people would be surprised by, but it's actually quite common with your
Oh,
customers.
fuck. Okay, so I teach something called Core 4, which means I can't be everything to everybody, but I know the 4 things. Like, because a lot of models want to be generalists. Like, I just talked about sex. Well, that's
Yeah.
great, but there's so many
Types.
Yeah. So, I promise I'm a good person and everybody is safe in this room. Everybody is safe that is listening to this.
Great.
I really gravitate towards blackmail, fantasy, and fetish.
Right.
Okay.
Well, that's sort of like a level of cuckolding that you're taking the power away from somebody.
Yeah, man, I fucking love it. Like,
All
I can
right.
blackmail your ass in
Yeah.
a fantasy.
Yeah.
Because the bitch does not look good in orange.
But let's not let it become reality. No
reality,
one
please.
piss Amberly off.
No.
You've heard it
No.
here first.
Please don't at me. And actually, that's what got me to be really, really popular. Is I released this because I wanted, like, the thing is, guys that want blackmail fetish want it to be real. They want you to hunt them down,
Really?
like a fucking criminal.
Wow.
like a bounty hunter would hunt someone down and like lock them into a contract and fuck their life. But
Wow.
that is illegal as fuck.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the way I got around it was I hired a friend who sounded like the Crypt Keeper. She sounded old as Dickens, and but she was really good voice actress. And I had her play a wife, and I pretended like I was Bank of America calling her, and I verified all her information. But then I started asking creepier and creepier questions, and then at some point she explodes on me, and then the reveal.
Right.
That I'm your husband's dom and he owes me all this money, and you hear her cry and you hear her go, this is awful.
Oh my God.
Anyways, you'd be surprised at how many guys got off to me torturing this fictitious woman. But when I put it out there, I didn't say it was like fake. So it went viral.
I love
It
this.
led to me getting doxxed, but anyways, it went viral. Like, people were trying to find this horrible woman that's torturing this other woman and profiting off of
Oh
it.
wow. And you were like, just role play, guys.
He just really thinks.
The amount of also guys that like sent me money and were like, okay, do this next to her.
Wow.
Yeah, like people, like, what is it? The German word Schadenfreude? Like when you take delight in like someone else's like
Suffering.
misery.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. So like you'd be surprised at how many people really love like hearing about god awful dumpster fires.
Wow.
And like jerking off on the fence watching it happen.
Yeah, you know
Whoa.
what? I kind of can believe that.
That is.
Is this blow your mind?
I'm like just
You're
picturing
like,
it all
I
in my
could never
head.
do, which is funny because I'm a highly empathetic person. So this is like how I
Yeah.
exercise those demons.
Yeah,
That's
no,
so true.
Yeah.
Well, I just like I know people who love watching like dark movies
Yeah.
or like about manipulation or like really bleak stuff, and they feel like a sense of relief and happiness from watching it. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's that similar thing. Whereas I feel just dark inside if I watch something like that.
it
I'm like, ooh,
I watch.
I let
that
it
I love
sink
that
too
st-
deep.
I love
Oh,
that stuff.
wow.
A bad ending.
Right.
Like everybody wants a good ending. I want it to be like there was that viral video by some late night comedian where it's like the girl's twerking on the door and someone opens the door and she falls over and her pants catch on fire.
Oh no!
And like it just gets worse. It keeps
getting worse.
worse.
And people
Yeah.
love that.
Yes, I'm one of those people
Yeah.
that
I love it.
that.
Oh
shit.
come on now. We
That's
like
actually
it.
true of like almost every fantasy though.
Yeah.
Like they're so into this shit. Like the guys that call me for wife humiliation, they want me to like make fun of their like wives, which is funny because I'm like fat and dumpy too. But
You're a babe. We're looking
screaming,
at
you're
you
hot.
and you're a babe.
Come
So no
on,
trash
she's
talking on
hot.
yourself
No.
in here.
no, I'm being realistic. Like I'm literally like saying your wife's a fat pig is also like. I would say it's the pot calling the kettle black, and I so recognize it.
But they love it.
But they love it. But the
Wow.
moment that happened, like the moment they get off, they're like, okay, so I love Betsy.
Just to get that out there, I love
Like,
her.
How dare you talk down to her?
Not leaving her, just so you know.
All right.
Yeah, like best thing that's ever happened to me. But thanks for playing.
Yeah, that's so wild.
Yeah.
It is wild.
And I was wondering as well. So, what was I going to ask? Okay. So by dominating these guys in a lot of ways, you sort of boss them around a little bit sometimes,
A lot
right?
of it. A lot of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the bits, actually.
Well, that's the thing. So you've entered into the like femdom realm.
True. But I also, it seems like a lot of it, but really who's in power?
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people don't think about that. The person, I want money. Like,
Yes.
I want money. He's basically telling me what he likes. Like, people always tell me, like, I'm the one and you're the one in power. It's more like I create a
Safe
roller
space.
coaster.
Right.
Yeah, I'm creating the roller coaster and you're agreeing to get on the roller coaster and I kind of control the speed of it. But you're the one that says, okay, but I don't like too many dips. I don't like too many loop-to-loops. Absolutely no hard stops.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a great metaphor.
That
Yeah.
is.
Yes.
Well, that's true. I really believe that in a sub-dom dynamic, the sub actually should have most of the power, and they usually do if it's done right. And I think that's where a lot of like mainstream ignorance comes from, is they see this dom sub like dominant and submissive dynamic, and they see that as like someone being mean to somebody who doesn't like it. But if you're doing the dom sub dynamic right,
Yeah.
the sub is actually saying, I want you to control this scenario, but I'm giving you my control.
Yeah.
And I'm letting you know where I'm comfortable.
Yeah.
You set safe words usually. Well, actually, you always should if you're going to enter into this realm. And you're basically indicating to your dom what you're comfortable with. And if you're a great dom, you actually are safely guiding your sub through
The experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I tell people I'm an experience. I'm more of like a safari guide.
yeah.
Yes. Yes.
More of a
yes.
safari guide.
And so sure, what you're saying might come across as dominant and cruel sometimes, or humiliating, but it's actually you've been given consent.
yes, that's 900% what it is.
Because these guys can hang up at any time if they
yeah.
aren't comfortable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to do that.
Yeah.
So easy just to be like, no. And
Totally.
That's what, and I also think like a lot of people see how much doms are making online. They see the flashy, like I got $5,000.
Yeah.
And they think that that's every day. They think it's that easy. You really have to understand that. They think it's the fuck you pay me.
Right.
That's not, I mean, I've been in this, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm doing my shit wrong, but I've been in this like feels like forever. And I've never seen that. Anytime I've gotten a big, like I had a guy give me $45,000 once.
Wow.
But
Please hold. Sorry.
45 grand?
yeah.
In one sitting?
In one sitting.
Interesting.
I bawled like a baby. Like snot was like,
Yeah.
I was eating it at that point. It felt like
Yep.
dripping out of my face. Like fully dehydrated at the end of that session. But this was also after like 8 months of knowing him, 8 months of cultivating a relationship,
Building trust.
8 months of him seeing how fucking awesome I can be in that situation for him to feel comfortable doing that. So like big paychecks can come, but if you're just like, no, it's everything I want to do. I mean, you can
Do
absolutely
it my way.
Yeah, you can absolutely put it out there. I tell people my core four are blackmail fantasy, white humiliation, hypnosis, and
Hypnosis.
yeah, hypnosis. Like I actually am not trained. I actually don't believe in this shit. But
Yeah.
I will like wiggle my fingers at you all day long.
yeah.
And we'll pretend some shit's happening.
But okay.
Yeah.
So that's like the
Interesting.
fantasy
That's
of
the fantasy
Yeah.
of being hypnotized.
Yeah.
Wow.
And no shade to anybody that believes in it. I can't. I've tried so hard to get on board, but
Yep.
I went to like a professional hypnotist class and
And some people are more susceptible to it than others. Some
Exactly.
people's
yeah,
brains.
I think it can help some people. Maybe I'm one of those people that it didn't work on, so I don't know if I can get on that paradigm.
and then what's your fourth?
Yeah. Oh, my fourth one. Oh, okay. So, back to how I'm a fucked up individual. Have you heard of Project MK Ultra?
No.
Okay, Ultra. No.
Okay. Oh God, I love this sound guy. So I used to watch
For our listeners, Andrew just nods along knowingly.
Yes.
like and,
Why am I
and
nervous?
enthusiastically, might we know,
Mind control.
mind control.
Oh, okay, great.
So like mind control. I used to like watch Alex Jones preface for hysterical like hilarity. Like I just wanted to laugh at the ridiculousness of the shit he said.
Because is he like an NLP like type of person?
Yeah, NLP, that has a lot to do with him
Right.
and stuff. He believes in like a lot of Illuminati shit.
Okay.
So I
NLP for the people who have no idea.
Oh,
what
sorry,
that means.
neuro-linguistic programming, where it's like you
There we
can
go.
say things
Yeah.
to someone and you can kind of like make them believe a certain thing. So like Tony Robbins back in the day used to use NLP, but quote unquote for good, where he would be like, he would kind of psych you into a mental state where you feel like you can like, you know, walk on hot coals and, and this
Oprah
type
did
of
that.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally.
gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's kind of like they'll speak to you in a certain way where you start to believe like a type of different reality.
Yeah, it's so
Gotcha.
funny that I don't buy hypnosis. Again, I'm not trying to like duke it out with anybody, but
Sure.
I also find like this topic fascinating.
Oh yeah.
My biggest question I've had is, I know you have your family, you have your kids and all of that. So how do you go from this really cool storyteller to all these things to help get these men off to then going back home with the family and having family time? Is it an easy transition, or over the years have you had to learn how to make that switch?
Damn. God, introspective questions. I love it.
You know I'm here for
no one's
introspective
asked that
question.
before. No, you know, it's a lot easier than you'd think because Amber Lee is way different than me.
Yeah.
Amber Lee's like, well, when I'm talking to I have two sets of customers now. When I'm talking to like my fantasy customers, I am this wicked bitch. I don't give a fuck what you think. Like, even for years, girls in this industry thought I bought my own Kool-Aid and thought I was like this heartless, maniacal bitch. That,
And it's
like,
funny having met you, you're such a warm, empathetic
Yeah.
but I can imagine if you only have someone's voice to go off and you're telling a narrative,
and
it's
you're
like,
seeing
well, I
this
have no
horrible
reason to
shit.
believe.
So yeah, whenever I walk away from like Amberly, it's just like, okay, you see your kids' faces, and you're like, come here, baby.
You're right, and you go back. Wow.
Like that.
So do you think it really helps to have like a name for your persona so you can really separate the
Fuck,
two?
Yes.
Yeah.
Being able to be like, not Amberly. I even tell people that, like, they come to me and they'll say something, I'm like, I'm not Amberly right now. What's up?
That's
Great.
cool.
Yeah.
Because
That's
you're able
great.
to compartmentalize that in your brain. Like, okay,
have
who am I
to.
going to turn
And set
on
a
now?
boundary.
Exactly. Set that
Especially,
boundary.
like, in the beginning, I didn't use my own photos. Like I didn't steal photos. I
Yeah.
had legal rights to the photos I was using.
Yeah.
But like, especially if you're using your own photos, like I did use
It
them
just
for
felt
period.
too personal almost.
Yeah, because when the
Yeah.
attacks come, when people made fun of like this
Persona.
yeah, it was like, you're making fun of a girl that ain't me.
That ain't even
Yeah.
real. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
funny.
But yeah, when they start like making fun of, oh, you're fat, you know, you don't look black. I don't look black enough often.
Oh,
Wow.
girl, we can. Now that's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Gross.
They're like, you're not black, you're
Yeah.
Latina. I was like, am I?
Am I? Like, do you
Who
know
am
my
I?
birth certificate? What?
Fuck, I didn't.
I didn't know you had
Mama,
a
what you
PhD in
do?
genetics. Mama, what you do?
Yeah, like when they start lobbying these, like, your voice sounds like a 70-year-old smoker. I was like, nah, it doesn't. But
Yeah.
but like
Yeah.
when you start getting stuff like that, it becomes a little like
More
it hits a
personal.
little
Too
piece
Yeah.
of
close
you.
to home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Whereas
but-
if you've built a persona up, it protects you almost.
Yeah, you're attacking this persona that's not me, like whatsoever. And I also suggest that to people: make your persona nothing like you. If you're like an awkward person, it's actually kind of cool too, because like when I go out to cons, I no longer fall on the ground and almost get kicked out of AVN. I told them that story. Yeah, that's a true story. I've learned to put the Amberly shield on, not completely, because I'm not going to be a bitch to people at cons, but like Amberly is super confident. Amberly knows what she's doing.
She's cool.
When she's talking
like
to her
ice
guys.
cold and collected.
Yeah. When I go into business meetings, I can like put that shield. When I go to cons now, I can put that shield on rather than, because if you let me, I'm going to be sitting on the back. I have run up under like tables that have little skirts to them and just been like, I'm in my dark
I'm
area.
hiding.
Yeah.
Well, they say that like a lot of athletes, a lot of like the best athletes can do that, and the best performers too, where they can they have a persona that they are on the field. Like even Tom Brady apparently does that, where he kind of steps into the Tom Brady persona of the quarterback.
Yeah.
And he can be like cold and cruel, and he has to be that person on the field. And a lot of great athletes, I was listening to an interview with like a baseball player who said he has like a different name for his persona he's on the field.
Yeah.
And then also there's people like Beyonce who says that like
Sasha
people
Fierce.
expect
Sasha
me
Fierce.
to
She's
be
Sasha Fierce,
like
yeah.
Beyonce 24/7, but on stage I'm Sasha Fierce. I'm that person, and it helps her actually perform at her best and then protect her true self.
Exactly.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
you can't run like that all
You
the time.
can't.
No,
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 you're
no.
gonna burn out. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But-
So is
but-
that some
Wow.
advice you offer in your book too? Or
Yeah,
to
like-
have a different way of compartmentalizing?
Yeah, save it's self-preservation. Have different, and even like for example, when I talk to my performer clients, so my models, when I'm working with them, you're still seeing a little bit of Amberly because Amberly is still putting out that confident. But that ain't me, son. Like that ain't me.
Ain't
You're
that real
just-
me, baby.
Yeah.
I'm a self-deprecating, like self-sabotager, imposter syndrome motherfucker.
Sure.
But yeah, I can put.
But you can be both.
You can. You might have multiple personalities to get through. Wow. That's
deep.
That's not how that is not
hit.
how that was meant to be said. But you might have multiple personas that you
Yeah.
use
Roles
in
that you
order
play,
to in order to
Exactly.
feel like you get there. But have your true self, and then have these ones that are shielded. And when you get criticism, look at it and be like, okay, so that was a nasty way to say this. Is that true? Yeah, it is. Am I okay with it? Sure, leave it. I'm not okay. Change it.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like putting up a step between you and the feedback, not taking it completely to heart.
Yeah, that's kind of what you have to do. Same with business. I'm sure people say
Yes.
stuff. Actually, no, I've never seen anybody say anything about voodoo that was bad. But if someone were, you'd like step back and be like, yeah, that is true, but we ain't changing. Rock on.
And so, what are you working on at the moment? I know that next week, as we sit here, you're nominated for an ABN award.
I slid in under the radar on that one.
Which award is it?
Social media star.
Hell
Come
yeah!
on now.
Okay, but I have like 21,000 on Twitter, and like the
That's
second,
substantial.
but the,
For Twitter, that's great.
well, especially when it's only performers. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. That's. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, toot. But
on.
but in that category,
Yeah.
the next lowest person has 300,000. I'm like, so.
But I always find, and you'll know this as a marketing professional too, like it's also like how deep your engagement gets,
Exactly.
right?
True,
like
and I'm
you're
highly
probably
engaged.
deeply ingrained in your followers' lives, whereas when you get to a certain stage, like 300,000, it's like there's a lot of fans who aren't feeling you as deep. They're just kind of
True.
latching on
And
to
my
the
DMs
bandwagon.
are open, and I just don't.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always accessible. I refuse to not be.
Good.
But no, I'm honored to be even nominated. But I'm not gonna lie, nominated because I use AVN stars.
I'm voting for you.
Yeah, thank
Absolutely
you.
waiting
I
for you.
appreciate that.
Woo.
So what else are you working on at the moment?
I actually have 4 books ready to come, not ready, but like scheduled to come out this year. The first book is on imposter syndrome because I've suffered so hard from it the last 2
Amen,
years.
sister.
Is this directly related to the industry, or are you talking in a more broad sense?
It half and half actually. Like more broad sense in the first part, and the second half is talking about like industry and how
Your personal experience.
yeah, the entertainment industry gives you really bad imposter syndrome because all of a sudden you're like if you go to like Xbiz last night, I'm surrounded by the biggest. I could have walked up to Riley Reid and been like, I want a picture, and she would have done it. But I was just like, yeah, sound guy. I could have done it, and she would have. Like, I got a picture with Brandy Love, and people were coming up to me and being like, "I know who you are," and I'm like,
Wow.
but why?
Yep.
I'm like, do you know who you are? I don't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't talk to me if.
And
I
you
were
think
you.
Riley Reid is probably also being like, why?
Yeah.
You know, why is everyone
thing
coming up to
yeah.
me when I'm just a regular girl in my regular life, and then everyone's coming up to me fangirling?
Yeah.
I'm sure everyone feels like that.
So I wrote the book. It's called. It's not out, but it's called. Don't worry, I'll crack my own crown.
Oh, great.
Love that.
Yeah.
That's very self-deprecating.
Yeah.
My humor.
I
Yeah, I
love
love
that.
it.
Yeah.
And then will
Yeah.
you be releasing that on Amazon, or where will you
On
be
Amazon.
releasing
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
It's Amazon. I might even still put that one out for free because I feel like it's just a message more
And when
people
you
need.
launch it, you'll put that on your socials?
Yes, absolutely. And then the second book is I'm rewriting my first book because
Oh,
a
great.
lot's changed since then.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm
and
sure.
more people than just phone sex people said that it helped them because
Wow.
I wrote from a very business sense. So I'm going to
Great.
do a broader, like how to build a business plan, how to build a proper marketing plan in the adult and as it pertains to the adult industry.
Brilliant. Yeah, I can't wait to check that
Choose your
out.
own adventure. So you can start on page 1
Yes.
and get all the way to the end.
Awesome.
I love
And when
that.
are you going to be releasing that?
That one's coming first, and I'm hoping to have it out by April.
Brilliant. I
Yeah.
cannot wait to read it.
Yes, because
Truly.
it's like you could be drunk and like at the end of it have a full-fledged plan.
Wow.
yeah.
Yes.
Come on.
That's what I need.
Content. We love it. We love it.
Thank you.
Yes.
And if people want to find you, to connect with you, Twitter is the best place.
I'd
or-
avoid me at all costs.
No way. We want to have you back.
No.
You have such a killer life story.
You do.
We were all
It's
just
such a great
waiting
energy.
for your Netflix
Yes,
series
yes.
to come out on your life
Netflix
because it is incredible.
Look, we can pull
Truly.
some strings and make it happen.
Yeah, someone needs to write the story of your life because people listening, we probably will remove some stuff that we spoke about, so you really didn't even get to hear the full story. But
One day.
Um,
in a
day.
month.
truly,
So
yeah, this
great.
is incredible.
Thank you. But
So
yeah,
thank you for sharing this with us.
AmberlyRothfield.com. Like that's where I keep everything like up to date. And then the main social I use right now is Twitter, and that's Amberly PSO.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Thank you guys. This has been fabulous. I love your now I have to binge watch or listen to all of your past ones. I listened to the last like 2.
Nice.
Now I have to binge listen.
I don't know about the first ones of worth missing because we were just kind of figuring it
We're
out.
just, we're just laughing and yelling at the
Yeah,
mics.
but honestly, I guess really make it what it is, like the quality content, like because having people like you on, you're so fascinating, you're so open and
yeah.
candid, and we
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
Yeah,
it.
we
It's
do.
brilliant.
This is a blast, honestly. Like I got free alcohol.
Yeah, that's true.
Not complaining.
No handcuffs in sight. Yeah,
No
guys.
Guys, inside the love lounge,
It's still
baby.
early days. But
love
thank you so
this
much
promise.
for joining us. I really could talk to you forever, but I can't keep you here all day.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so we'll hopefully be having you back in the Love Lounge very
Absolutely. I come
soon.
to LA a lot, so
Brilliant. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks.
Thank
Bye.
you.
let's talk about it.
Tell me the truth.